Lowe's knows how to turn big plans into real results. Whether it's new appliances or a home refresh, get started with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with a My Lowe's Rewards credit card, January 15th through the 30th. So you can invest in your upgrade now and pay over time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
The unique requirements of veterans and their families require a distinct set of educational programs and support to fit their lives. National University gets it. With over 50 years supporting and educating the military community, they offer tuition scholarships for veteran spouses, generous credit transfer policies, and the flexibility of 4- and 8-week online courses. That's why 30% of their students are military affiliated. NU, education that serves those who serve.
Weight Watchers now offers access to affordable GLP-1s.
Weight Watchers has everything I need, from weight loss medications to nutrition support and help with my side effects.
With our program, our members are losing more weight with expert nutrition and side effect support.
Weight Watchers prescribing GLP-1 medications, it's been life-changing.
Better results, expert support, lose more weight, make it last. Get started today for as low as $25 at WeightWatchers.com.
You're listening to HBCU Pulse Radio on Sirius XM Channel 142 HBCU. You're now locked in to HBCU Pulse. We're the #1 outlet for HBCU life, talking about everything that's important to our culture, from on-campus issues to politics and what's trending on the yard. We always keep that same energy. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.
What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and the host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for another special edition of the show on today, where we're going to be doing a deep dive into the business of the Celebration Bowl. The Celebration Bowl has been around for 10 years and exists as the only FCS bowl game. We're going to discuss the expansion of the college football playoffs and how it could possibly affect the Celebration Bowl in the years to come. We'll also give a salute to Clark Atlanta alumna Tiffany Mitchell, who recently appeared in the latest season of Peacock's The Traitors. Mitchell is a reality TV legend, and we'll discuss why later on in the show. But first, let's get into our front page report.
Get up on what's trending.
Get up!
You're listening to the Front Page Report on HBCU Pulse Radio.
After being dismissed last week, Dr. Kevin E. James has been reinstated as Morris Brown College's president. James announced his reinstatement to the position on his social media accounts on Tuesday afternoon. The news comes as James announced that he had been terminated without cause on January 12th. James released a letter to the Morris Brown community announcing his dismissal and outlining what he achieved in his 7 years with the institution. News of his dismissal spread around the nation, with many HBCU alumni expressing their displeasure at the decision by the university's Board of Trustees. As of this report, Morris Brown has not spoken on the previous dismissal of James nor his rehire. Fort Valley State University President Dr. Paul Jones has announced his retirement after 10 years leading the institution. He informed the campus community in a letter as well as his planned departure in June 2026. Jones was hired as president in December 2015. Under his leadership, Fort Valley State University has been named the top public HBCU in Georgia by the U.S. News and World Report. The institution has seen record growth, enrolling over 3,000 students this year. Fort Valley State also introduced nursing as a major in 2023. The HBCU also underwent infrastructure changes in Jones's tenure. The university recently revealed the construction of Legacy Hall, an apartment-style residential hall located across the street from the main campus. Several academic buildings have also been renovated, such as Bishop Hall, Bywaters Hall, and Founders Hall. The University System of Georgia will launch a search for the next president of Fort Valley State, with details soon to come. The 5 defendants in the murder of former Southern University student Caleb Wilson have entered not guilty pleas in their upcoming court case. Wilson was killed in an unsanctioned hazing ritual by Omega Psi Phi members. According to police reports, Wilson was repeatedly punched in the chest and collapsed from the blows. In March, Caleb McCrary, Isaiah Smith, and Kyle Thurman were arrested and indicted on felony hazing charges. McCrary was also charged with manslaughter after authorities alleged that he gave the fatal blow. Winston Sanders and Jaden Landrum were later charged and indicted on felony hazing and obstruction of justice. The next court date is scheduled for April 28th. And that's your front page report for this week. For HBCU Pulse Radio, I'm Randall Barnes. Now let's dive deeper into the world of sports in our HBCU Sports Playbook.
You're listening to the HBCU Sports Playbook on HBCU Pulse Radio.
The Black College Football Hall of Fame has unveiled its new class of inductees for 2026. The list includes Fort Valley State's Tyrone Poole, Jackson State's Jimmy Smith, Alabama State's Eddie Robinson Jr., Bethune-Cookman's Nick Collins, Howard University's Steve Wyche, and former Florida A&M coach Rudy Hubbard. Eddie Robinson Jr. and Steve Wyche are two of the more notable names on the list. Robinson serves as Alabama State's head football coach and recently led the team to a 10-2 season. Robinson is an alumnus of Alabama State and was a standout for the Hornets in the 1990s. He was a two-time All-SWAC Defensive Player of the Year and key contributor to the program's 1991 Black College National Championship. Steve Wyche is a Howard University alumnus and one of the most notable faces in NFL media. He works with the NFL Network as a senior NFL media analyst and chief national reporter. He recently joined HBCU Go's broadcast team and served as play-by-play commentator for the HBCU Legacy Bowl, which airs annually in February on NFL Network. All honorees will be inducted into the Hall of Fame on June 6th. Michael Vick's new docuseries chronicling his first year at Norfolk State has a premiere date. The program, titled The Coach Vick Experience, is set to premiere on February 4th at 10/9 Central on BET's cable channel. The series is set to showcase Vick's highly anticipated return to Virginia, as well as his work for Norfolk State as head coach. The university has a storied athletic history, but has struggled in football since moving to Division I in 1997. The show will chronicle Vick's struggles in his first season. In 2025, Norfolk State went 1-11 with no Division I victories. The series will also chronicle Michael Vick's journey off the field as he and his family adjust to his new role. That's it for today's HBCU Sports Playbook. I'm Randall Barnes.
HBCU. They know just who we are. Pulse Radio.
So today I want to do something different. Over the past year, I've become a huge reality TV fan. Because of my newfound love for reality TV, I was excited to find out that the new season of The Traitors featured two HBCU alumni. Real Housewives of Potomac star Candace Dillard Bassett is a Howard University alumna, and Big Brother legend Tiffany Mitchell is a Clark Atlanta University alumna. Mitchell was unfortunately eliminated from the show after she was misidentified as a traitor. So because of this, I want to take the time out to introduce our audience here on HBCU Pulse Radio, or reintroduce to some the legacy of Tiffany Mitchell and why she's a reality TV legend.
From the shade room to your news feed, we brag different. You're locked into HBCU Pulse, now trending worldwide.
So let's start out with her time on season 23 of Big Brother. Mitchell was one of the strategic minds behind The Cookout, one of the best alliances in the history of the show. Big Brother is often based on coalition building and communication. While the ability to compete in the various competitions on the show are important, being able to network and strategize puts you in a position to win the game. Mitchell showed that on her season of Big Brother. The Cookout was a group of 6 black contestants who set out to work together to become the final 6 house guests, with the goal of having the first black winner of the series in the 2 decades of the show's run. Mitchell outlined the strategy that the alliance underwent to eliminate the other contestants, which she called the master plan.
The Cookout is an agreement made between Kylan, myself, Xavier, Hannah, Isaac, and Big D to ensure that we will not target each other. However, at the end of the day, we're only 6, and we need a few more numbers to help us get through to the end of this game. We need to partner with someone else outside of the 6 so that we don't bring attention to ourselves, and we will also appear as a duo to other people in the house. That not only helps us to get further in the game, but if one of the duos ends up on the block together, the Cookout has the numbers to help us stay safe.
Her role in the creation of the Cookout earned her massive acclaim from Big Brother fans. Although she didn't win the season, the goal was achieved and she was named America's favorite house guest. She also cemented herself as a strategic mastermind, which made her a perfect selection for season 4 of The Traitors. The gameplay in The Traitors is simple. There are typically 3 to 4 cast members who are designated as traitors. Meanwhile, the rest of the cast are faithfuls. The goal for the faithful is to identify the traitors amongst them and banish them from the game. If they don't, the faithful are able to be eliminated one by one by the traitors. Because of her strategic reputation, Mitchell was seen as one of the favorites to win the show. In comments on her podcast Heavy Crown Network, Mitchell spoke about the emotion she put into the game, including the roundtable moment in which she was eliminated.
I was so thrown off that I instantly lost my cool. I kind of took it personal because the things that were being said about me at this roundtable, it felt very personal. And it's not easy being in the hot seat. And it's not easy to defend yourself against something that you know you either are not or you didn't do. It's like, how do I prove this to you? I don't have proof.
The roundtable moment was emotional, as cast members voted nearly unanimously to banish Mitchell as they believed that she was a traitor. Mitchell spoke about how she attempted to contain her emotions, but found it hard to.
While I was sitting there trying to hide the fact that I was crying, all I'm thinking about is Danielle Reyes from last season telling me, and when you get to that round table, if something happened, you better not cry. I said, girl, you ain't gotta worry about it. I ain't gonna shed a tear.
The show was filmed last summer, with the episodes premiering this month. In the months following her banishment, Mitchell identified her strategic misfire this season.
I think that I will say the thing that you're never supposed to say is maybe I felt too comfortable with the people that I was sharing information with.
But despite it all, Mitchell once again became a fan favorite. The Traitors is a nexus point in reality TV, featuring a mix of personalities from several shows and networks, along with other celebrities. Fans of The Traitors that were not familiar with her work on shows such as Big Brother and The Challenge were drawn to her passion to win the money to help her son pay for college. Her strategic moves, including identifying Donna Kelsey as a secret traitor before many of her other castmates, also earned her massive acclaim. Although Tiffany didn't win this season of The Traitors, she further cemented her legacy as one of the best strategic thinkers in reality TV history. And she certainly made the HBCU community proud. Coming up next, we discuss the expansion of the college football playoff from 12 to 16 teams as early as this fall and how it could possibly affect the Cricket Celebration Bowl. So make sure to stay tuned. You're listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.
You're listening to Randall's Thoughts on HBCU Pulse Radio.
Yes, so on today's Randall's Thoughts, I want to talk about the college football playoff, the Celebration Bowl, and Donald Trump. And I promise you, at the end of this commentary, everything will make sense. So we live in an era of performative politics and a lack of civic understanding. While this is often true for issues of public policy and government, this phenomenon has somehow made its way to sports, particularly college football scheduling. This week, an ongoing conversation regarding the expansion of the college football playoffs has reached its culmination. In 2024, the playoff expanded from 4 to 12 teams, giving more teams the opportunity to compete for a national championship. But there's significant conversation on if the playoff should expand even more. This week, there are conversations regarding expanding the teams to 16. There's even been a push by the Big Ten to try to expand the field of teams to 24. But lost in the talk of team participation is game scheduling. If the college football playoff were to expand more, it would have to start a week earlier. This would cause a very interesting problem. On the second Saturday in December, Army-Navy plays its annual rivalry game. This game is a staple in college football and normally shared a weekend to itself. But the expanded college football playoff already pushed games to that day. The Celebration Bowl, known as the National Championship of HBCU football, was pushed to start a week earlier. An expanded college football playoff could take away viewership and attention from not just Army-Navy in this scenario, but the Celebration Bowl as well. If anything, the Celebration Bowl stands to see more harm in the case of an expanded college football playoff. Enter Donald Trump, the President of the United States. He announced on his Truth Social platform that he's signing an executive order meant to quote-unquote protect the second week of December for Army-Navy. It blew my mind how people actually took this at face value. And even worse to me, my fellow media members acted as if the president can issue a decree and quote unquote protect a weekend for a football game. This is where civic understanding intersects with an innocuous interest like sports. Media companies are private businesses. An executive order can't make a private business do anything. Congressional action to create legislation that would then turn into a law signed by the president would be a real way to quote unquote protect the weekend for Army-Navy. The Sports Broadcast Act of 1961 protects high school football and bars NFL games from being broadcast on Friday evenings. That's a law that still affects the business of the NFL to this day. So, by that same logic, how would an executive order alone press these private media entities in any way? Sure, public pressure and fear of retaliation could force action, but the coverage of this as if it's a policy breakthrough and if an executive order would actually do anything without congressional action is insane to me. And ultimately, this executive order or any policy action doesn't solve the diagnosed issue. If the answer is competitive balance and less teams that are quote unquote snubbed like Notre Dame, 16 teams is the answer. But in my HBCU educated opinion, I don't think that a 12-team playoff is a bad thing. It's just college football decision makers creating a problem to solve so they can feel better when they quote unquote solve the problem. But then we look at what a 16-team playoff can actually do to a game like the Celebration Bowl. John Grant, the executive director of the Celebration Bowl, has consistently spoken about the goal of the game being at the start of bowl season. His aim is to capitalize on the attention and lack of real sports competition that the early Saturday game at the start of bowl season provides it. An expanded college football playoff is a real threat to that goal, similar to the threat it poses to Army-Navy in this scenario. So I asked myself, would an expanded college football playoff as far as fan interest really affect the Celebration Bowl? And if that is truly the strategy and what's going to occur, is the right counter strategy for the Celebration Bowl to just do nothing? Because I look at the facts. FBS football prognosticators already act as if the Celebration Bowl is any competition to the other bowl games because it's an FCS bowl game, the only FCS bowl game on the calendar. Even Trump in his Truth Social post didn't mention the fact that it has been played on the same day as Army-Navy for the past 2 seasons. That fact appears invisible to a certain sector of the population that doesn't respect HBCU football, even when it's on one of the 3 broadcast networks early on a Saturday afternoon. So the question becomes, would an expanded college football playoff truly affect the Celebration Bowl if the fans interested in the game itself show up to watch it anyway? But then we stop to ponder, where would the game be broadcast? Because to be honest, that's the real issue at hand. Would the Celebration Bowl now be relegated to ESPN from ABC to free up an early afternoon spot for a college football playoff game? That move would drastically impact viewership if it were to happen. And to be honest, if anything, that deserves policy, that deserves attention, that deserves an executive order. The Celebration Bowl deserves an executive order in that case because it stands to lose more with the expansion of the college football playoff, especially given the fact that the Celebration Bowl is already affected by the 12-team college football playoff because the game was moved a week earlier. So that means because the SWAC has a championship game, the SWAC opponents do not get the opportunity to have a week of rest or have any semblance of rest the same way the MEAC has an opportunity to rest. Now, there's a conversation around if that's an actual benefit. I'm just stating the facts. The college football playoff expanding to 12 teams already affected the scheduling of the Celebration Bowl. But I believe that if this was to go into action, this could now affect the broadcast home of the Celebration Bowl. Still in the ESPN network, but now on a network that doesn't have the same level of reach that ABC does as a broadcast channel. And here's what people are not talking about. Army-Navy is still going to have a broadcast home on CBS and a built-in audience because of the legacy and prestige of the matchup. And then the fact that Army has actually been a pretty good team the past couple years. And there can be a real conversation amongst Paramount and Disney/ESPN to schedule the game appropriately. Because these are still FBS teams at the end of the day, and it's still the fraternity of FBS college football. But HBCU football, once again in this conversation, as it is often, is forgotten about. And it happens so often, we're used to it. I have faith that no matter what, John Grant and the Celebration Bowl will adjust to whatever is thrown at it. But I think we should actually center the real problem here and the game that would really be affected by the college football playoff expansion. And then from there, come up with a real way to make sure we preserve the sanctity and the viewership of the Celebration Bowl and ensure that it still is economically viable from a media standpoint, and also that we can make sure that HBCU football fans are still coming to the game. And those are my thoughts on today.
HBCU. They know just who we are. Post Radio.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, I want to give my reaction to the news that I reported earlier this show regarding Fort Valley State University, my HBCU, and Dr. Paul Jones retiring from Fort Valley after a decade of service to the institution. When I found out about the news, and my brother William, who is a freshman at Fort Valley, actually gave me the news, he broke the news to me, I was shocked. We just passed 10 years of Dr. Jones in the position, and he's been honestly a transformative leader. My freshman year is when Dr. Jones assumed the role as Fort Valley State University president, and I actually was one of the first students to meet him. I was a part of marketing and communication as early as my first semester at Fort Valley, and I was always fervently helping the marketing and communications office. And I remember when Dr. Jones was named as the president of Fort Valley, and he had an official unveiling as president that the community and faculty and staff members, as well as alumni, were encouraged to attend. I walk into the Pettigrew Center, and there's no one in there except for Dr. Jones, Ms. Pamela Berry Johnson, Ms. Shonda Lewis, who both worked with marketing and communications at that time, and me, because we were setting up for the panel. And I sort of sat down. I didn't really know what to do. I was sort of nervous. I was a freshman. He came up to me, shook my hand, asked me my name. I said Randall Barnes. I told him I was a freshman, and that was the first time I met him. And I was actually one of the first students to meet him when he came on campus. And I interfaced with Dr. Jones a lot as a student leader on campus. He was very supportive of me in my Mass Comm pursuits, such as me having my book, The Diary of Aaliyah Anderson. I came to Fort Valley with the published book, and he was very supportive of that. He was supportive of my commentary journey as a basketball commentator for the Fort Valley State University basketball team, men's and women's. He was very complimentary of me. He also was very supportive of me when I was a White House HBCU All-Star in the 2017-2018 school year for the White House Initiative on HBCUs. I was actually up in Washington with Dr. Jones, as well as Dr. T. Ramon Stewart, who's the former provost of Fort Valley State University. And I was able to bond with him more, learn more about him, have him learn more about me, and also try my best to represent Fort Valley State University in front of so many amazing student leaders from other institutions. And at that time, I was new to the national HBCU game. Bigger institutions. You had FAMU, you had North Carolina A&T, you had Howard University. You were in Washington, D.C. after all. And my whole entire goal was to represent for Fort Valley and make Dr. Jones proud. He made so many things happen. We talked about it in the news report. He helped immensely with the growth of the infrastructure of Fort Valley State. Campus beautification was a huge thing on Dr. Jones's agenda. He also helped in the expansion of academic offerings at Fort Valley, such as spearheading the creation of our nursing program, which is actually a program that I wanted at Fort Valley for years. Not for me, but because I knew in my hometown of Macon, Georgia, a lot of people wanted to get into nursing. Young men and young women wanted to get into nursing. And I was told personally that a lot of people would have enrolled at Fort Valley State University if Fort Valley had a direct nursing program. And in 2023, Dr. Jones and my HBCU made it happen. It was so much to happen in his tenure. One of the biggest things for me is the opening of Bishop Hall, which is the mass comm building at Fort Valley State University. It had been closed for years, like literally years. It opened up my senior year at Fort Valley in March 2019. We all could have cried, man. When we looked in there and we saw that radio studio, especially for all of us that love and are passionate about radio, we literally could have cried. The TV studio looked amazing. The composition of the building was great. And that happened under his tenure. Dr. Jones really expanded the capacity of Fort Valley State University and the capacity of what we're doing to service the region, the state, and the nation. And I could not be more grateful for Dr. Jones. 10 years in the position, he literally saw me grow from a freshman at the end of my first semester to a graduate that walked the stage. On December 14, 2019, I was just overcome with emotion because I actually graduated from Fort Valley State University. My family was so fired up and I was proud. I saw people I hadn't seen in years that were showing me love. And I just was thinking about the future, this uncertain future that I did not know anything about. I didn't know anything about what was going to happen. So I saw Dr. Jones, he was talking to someone and that person walked off. And I walk up to Dr. Jones and I shake his hand. He tells me congratulations. And I say, Dr. Jones, I just was thinking, like, what can I do to assist the university? Like, what can I do as an alumni to really do more? Not just in giving back money, but just do more to support the institution. And he took it so seriously. And there's actually a picture of he and I talking about it. And he said, continue to do what you're doing. Continue the amazing advocacy that you're doing and the amazing work that you're doing, and Fort Valley will always support you. And that was amazing. That's the first thing I thought about when my brother told me that Dr. Jones was retiring. I think that he did so many amazing things for our institution. He's gonna, of course, always go down in history as he's the 10th president of Fort Valley State University. But I think when we look back, that we're gonna remember Dr. Jones's tenure, these past 10 years, this past decade, as one of the most transformative in Fort Valley State University history. And I think one of the biggest aspects of that transformative nature of what we've turned this institution into under Dr. Jones's regime is the fact that we have 3,000 students, including my brother, at Fort Valley State University. I think that that is amazing. Thank you so much to Dr. Jones for everything you did for our institution. And I hope to see you at homecoming. Just because you retired don't mean you can't pull up to homecoming. It's gonna be a movie, of course. And also, our football team gonna turn it around and we're gonna win the SIAC at some point in time in the future. Just wait on it. I'll report on it. Y'all will know what's going on with Fort Valley. Just wait on it. But listen, thank you so much to Dr. Jones for everything you did for me, for my peers, for my brother this past semester, and also for the Fort Valley State University community. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the show on today. Make sure to follow HBCU Pulse on Instagram and YouTube at HBCU Pulse, Twitter and TikTok at the HBCU Pulse, and make sure to subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure to head over to clutchpoints.com/HBCU to figure out what's going on in HBCU life and to read some of my commentaries on what's going on in the collegiate world. But outside of that, that is it for the show on today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, I will see you on the other side, and I'll catch you next week.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to HBCUPulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.
The unique requirements of veterans and their families require a distinct set of educational programs and support to fit their lives. National University gets it. With over 50 years supporting and educating the military community, they offer tuition scholarships for veteran spouses, generous credit transfer policies, and the flexibility of 4- and 8-week online courses. That's why 30% of their students are military affiliated. NU, education that serves those who serve.
Weight Watchers now offers access to affordable GLP-1s. It works for members like
I'm Haley, and I've lost 100 pounds. Weight Watchers has everything I need, from weight loss medications to nutrition support and help with my side effects. It's all in one place.
Weight Watchers handles the insurance for you and offers affordable cash pay options. With our program, our members are losing more weight with expert nutrition and side effect support.
I'm Mike, and I've lost 135 pounds. Weight Watchers prescribing GLP-1 medications. It's been life-changing.
I'm Sharia, and I lost 80 pounds on Weight Watchers. I realized that it would take more than a prescription to lose weight and feel good on a GLP-1.
Better results, expert support, lose more weight, make it last.
I can't imagine doing a GLP-1 without Weight Watchers.
Get started for as low as $25 at weightwatchers.com/GLP-1. For over 60 years, we've helped millions of members find what works for them. Now, it's your turn. Weight Watchers. Watch it work.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.